Pandora's box is about to open wide.
Welcome to another Pandora's box, ladies and gentlemen. To start the show, we need to address some controversy. Man, we angered some people, man.
Did we?
Did we?
Yeah, we angered.
Who angered people?
It was me and Drew. It wasn't you.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't you. So it's, you're an innocent party in this.
Yeah,
we had like an angry message man on YouTube about like the last week's thumbnail / graphic.
How about a thumbnail?
About the fact that it was like an AI picture, basically.
Really?
It was a yeah. I mean, to be fair, I thought it was one of those things. I didn't really think about it like beforehand, and then I saw the comment and I thought, yeah, that's a fair point. And
I really liked it.
I responded to it and put it, yeah, but it's because of the fact that it's like the ethical implication of it, right? I think that's why the person was annoyed, which I thought was enough.
What ethical implication?
With the fact that I guess it's AI art.
Takes jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, the fact that it's like AI art.
I got one of my friends complimented it.
Yeah,
so,
well, no, I don't think the issue was like whether it looked good or not, because I thought it looked good. But I just thought I'd like tell it from our perspective, because it's not like we had like a little PB meeting and we were like, we're going to use AI art from now on with our thumbnails. And it's weird because obviously like in the grand scheme of things, in like over the course of a week, like what thumbnail we use, say the pod is nowhere near even like the top like 30 in terms of like my list of priorities, as I'm sure it is for everyone else as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just sort of like letting all the listeners know from our point of view. So while I do think that the comment was completely fair enough, it basically said something like, it was along the lines of, sorry, I can't remember who the person that put the comment, but it was like something like AI slop, don't know why you've done this. The thumbnails were always good in the past. Just like AI generated slop or something like that. So I just replied like, yeah, fair enough. Like, good, basically I said like, yeah, we won't use AI art anymore because I thought about it. Yeah, that's it. You made your own in the past and they're perfectly fine. Why start putting slop out? And there was another one. They put another one out, which was basically saying the same thing. I think that was like a follow up to their first one. But I put I put a response and I was like, yeah, no, fair comment. And yeah, the first one put AI generated thumbnail, slop, at least make your own thumbnails or get a real human being. So I responded to it and I was like, yeah, fair comment.
Somebody else agreed as well, actually.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, not that that's, I mean, yeah. Oh my God, somebody else agreed.
Oh my God,
but,
there's two of them.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I mean, I just hadn't really given it much thought, but to be honest, I do agree as well. But as I said, I just want to say it from our point of view. So it's not like we were like, right, from now on, the thumbnails are going to be AI art or anything like that. Basically, the reason why we used that instead of like the usual one was literally just because, obviously, me and Drew have full-time jobs. We also have like kids, families, and like hobbies outside of work. So as I said, it's not, we don't overly think about the thumbnails or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, we should have obviously thought about it in a bit more detail. So I'm holding my hands up to the fact, do you know what I mean? That like, yeah, I don't, AI art isn't... It
had to get done on a bank holiday quickly.
Yeah, it had to get done on a bank holiday quickly. Drew's like, oh, I've done something a little bit different. It's like ChatGPT. If you don't like it, do you want me to change it? And I was like, nah, man, it's fine. It's cool. As I said, it was bank holiday. I was like, nah, it's cool, man. And I said, like, that pit view is hilarious. I put it out there. Didn't really think... didn't really think too much of it.
It still took a bit of like doing because I took a picture of myself.
Yes, sure.
In the episode, it talks about something Easter egg from a past to do with ducks.
Yes, yeah, I know.
And so like it's just basically a really quick way to have a hats off to that moment of the episode. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to do that, or for me to edit that and actually create that would have taken a really long time. So it's like, what's a creative way that we can get that across in a quick picture? I think obviously
the criticism
takes a bit of input.
Definitely, and I hope people can understand from our point of view. As I said, you know what I mean. It's like and like I say, I do hold my hands up to it. Like it makes you realize that like sometimes that you don't really think sometimes things that you don't think are important or that you don't really put much thought into it. Maybe you should put a little bit more thought into it because obviously, we do have friends that are musicians. Like my missus is a musician. One of our best friends is a really good, musician who gets like paid for it. And I guess, the argument is that, like the more you get like do like AI art or whatever, you're like not supporting real artists. And also AI in itself, like the art, they the way that AI generates art, I guess they like basically find loads of images and artists online, and then they sort of like, I guess like almost like
amalgamate.
Almost like absorb all of that talent or whatever you want to call it, and then use that to then create their own images. So I completely get it. As I said, we didn't like. It's not like we had a meeting. We were like, we're going to use AI art from now on. Busy guys. Drew was like, do you want to do this? If not, I'll change it. I was like, nah, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? So it's on me. I could have said to him, if I thought of it at the time and I was like, oh man, can you just do one like normal? Then, in hindsight, I probably should have done. But at the same time, I hope you understand as well, like, especially on a bank like Monday, you know what I mean? I don't want, do you know what I mean? Like, Drew works hard. I don't want to be giving him unnecessary stuff to do. In hindsight, let's face it, yeah, like maybe I should have just been, can you just like do a normal one, man? And I'm sure Drew wouldn't have minded. And, in the future, we will just go back to the ones before. Because, as I said, I did have a think about it. And the only AI I want on Pandora's box is us talking about how we're freaked out about the Terminator future that we're all living in. Or that weird Megan Fox movie that I said that you guys should watch where she turns into like a crazy sex bot. The Apocalyptic World song that me and Drew wrote. And as I said, obviously me and Drew both... like do music and stuff like that as well, and obviously like AI sort of, I don't know if plagiarize is the right word, but AI makes music nowadays, and there's also like a fear in the future that I guess like both musicians and artists might just like be almost like out of work, because if AI can just do it all, do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I hope you guys understand, whoever wrote that comment, and also to the person that agreed, and for anybody else out there that maybe share the criticisms. As I said, it's not like we were, we're like, right, we're going to use AI art or anything like that. It was just a quick thing, on a bank holiday, we thought we'd try it out. I did take it off the thumbnail on the YouTube anyway as well. I said we don't want to obviously be putting any artists, contributing to putting artists out of work or anything like that. But anyway, I hope that has addressed the AI art controversy, okay? We will move on. We will learn from this small bump in the road, okay? But it is funny, isn't it? Because it's such a small thing. As I said, I just wouldn't, you wouldn't think that something like that could like
I
anger.
It depends what your stance is on it and stuff.
For sure.
Everyone's gonna have a different opinion on it.
Yeah, so, sure.
Controversial.
Yeah, what's your stance on it, man?
I don't know. Especially in a situation like that, I think to garner ideas that you wouldn't usually be able to kind of do quickly, it's just a useful tool to just see what the ideas are. Like, for example, for that note, it's like, Nathaniel's going to Australia.
Yeah, it was funny. I
had a story about a duck, and it's just like a quick way of just like visualizing that as it. So yeah, I don't. And obviously, like, not making money off it or anything like that as well. So it's
we don't. Yeah, it's not. We're not making money off
doing
it.
it to like make money off other artists or something like that. And for me, it's just a tool that you can use quickly to see an idea.
Definitely.
But some people obviously are offended by it, or think that it will take away all jobs and that. But I just kind of see it as it's a tool that we can use to kind of look at ideas. Anything that is actually human is always going to be worth money. People might do like designs and logos and things like that. But the real things that you can create as a human are always going to be worth money, more money than anything AI can do. If someone is using AI to make money, like in pictures and stuff, and people are to buy that piece of art rather than like someone else's piece of art that they've painted with their hands, like, I think it's going to make human art more valuable, not less valuable. It might take up logo business and stuff like that, but actual real art that you have to make with your hands, like pictures, paintings, guitars, like anything that takes real human skill, the value of those are still going to be up here. So I think it's more like things people use it now for like marketing, and maybe it's taking things away from that area, but I've never really been interested in like that area anyway. So it's like I'm interested in like the creative stuff, like you say, music and all of that. And I think a lot of people see beyond the music stuff as well. Like, are you gonna want to go and watch a band of robots play? Like, do you know what I mean? Are you gonna want to watch real musicians? Live music is one of the gifts that we have.
I didn't even get that reference. You can explain that in a minute. Five Nights at Freddy.
It's just like the animatronics, like watching animatronics play. That's what I'm.
What's that? Is that like a movie?
Do you not know about Five Nights at Freddy?
No, what's that?
Like it was like a game in that game. It was like
I think I might know about it. I think I might know about I might have heard of the game.
Freddy Fazbear.
Is it like a little creepy little bear in like a shop or something?
Yeah, they got like kids' souls in them.
What? And now they play songs?
Well, no, but they're like in a restaurant. They do like a little like performance thing.
Oh,
so
right. So that's the reference.
Yeah, I was meaning like I'd imagine like you're seeing them.
Right.
Instead of like a robot or whatever.
Yeah, sorry, Drew. Go back to what you're saying. Yeah.
Sorry, that was random.
No. I appreciate the reference. I like an obscure reference.
Even though AI music is being made, I think people are always going to want to watch real people playing real music, and the thing that creates when you're jamming with someone is something that can't be maybe the sound could be recreated with AI of like of reference to it, but the actual experience of music can't be recreated.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that stuff as much, you know.
As a musician, you're not concerned about that. No, I completely agree. I wouldn't want to.
If you're going to listen to an AI album instead of like real musicians, then shame on you. You know, like that. I don't want that kind of person as a fan. You know?
Yeah, and one thing that is crazy, I think they're called Jason Blackbon's blocks, because I have a rock and roll radio show called The Dark Dale. If anybody likes rock and metal, let's go check that out. Fridays 9 p.m. AW Radio. Little plug there. Yeah, and I play loads of everything, you know, from like brand new singles right through to like, you know, cult classics, chart toppers, bestsellers, and everything in between.
Your favourite quote?
Yeah, I know. That's what I just like naturally say every time.
I love it.
But where was? Oh yeah, I played a couple of tracks from this band, or I thought they were a band called Jason's Black Box, and then I found out that they were like an AI band. Right? And I thought that's mental. But they got like a Spotify page and everything. And I can't remember how I found out. I can't remember if found out off the top of off my own back, or I can't remember if like Josh told me or somebody told me. And then, to be honest, when I found that out, it sort of like put me off listening to it. And I think it's because it's so hard to say why, isn't it? But I think like as humans, we get like, we feel like a connection with something that resonates with us, but there has to be a human connection, or at least an animalistic connection, you know? I don't think it strictly has to be human, because, you know, the same way that you could like really empathize or care with like your pet, like your cat or your dog or whatever. But
living
there has to be like, you know, when you listen to like a song and it almost like suddenly like gets you in the feels, and you might even get like tears in your eyes, or your hair's go on end, or you got like, you know, goosebumps, or you're just like, whoa, and then you almost like feel like, man, I get that person, and I feel like they'd get me, or something, or like I've been through exactly what that person's describing, and then it's like you like get this like weird thing, and even though this like person doesn't know you, and you're probably never going to meet this person, you like suddenly feel on this level with somebody, and it resonates with you, and it's really important. But as soon as like say with that band, that AI band, I realized it was just like AI. I literally was just like not interested. It's not like I didn't want to listen to it as like to take a stand or anything like that. Just like it lost any meaning to me. Like it just wasn't interested. But I think that's a perfect example of what you're saying, Drew, basically.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to it's like how critically you're listening to it compared to other like bands and that. Like, can you tell if you listen to it again after that there's like an AI element to it? Because it's pretty convincing, isn't it? And that's the thing, like. You can. There was this other one that Rick Beato on YouTube was talking about, and it was like AI band that had got like an insane.
Who's Rick Beato?
Rick Beato is like one of the top music YouTubers. So he like.
I think I know you're on about. Is he like a bit older, like grey hair?
Yeah, grey hair.
I can picture him.
And he like
done a lot of interviews like on his YouTube
with
musicians and guitars and
lots
music
of
equipment.
Interviews. Yeah, and I think people really respect his opinion in the music industry and stuff. And he was showing these views that had gone insane, or like these like numbers insane that were in for this like AI band and that. And then he was kind of like breaking it down, and like the little artifacts that you could hear and stuff, and you like separated all the tracks out and stuff, and so you could like tell that it was AI. But yeah, like people were loving it as well, and it's definitely a crazy one, especially like when you can't tell, you know.
Yeah,
it's like you know, like it could just slip in. Like pop songs as well are, you know, they're quite formulaic in the way that they're created and you know, just generally produced. And I think AI has a much better job at creating a formulaic kind of pop songy like thing than something like real intricate and I don't know, avant-garde or something.
Yeah.
But like he was basically showing as well that like there's this AI is creating some pop songs that are better than the pop songs you're getting out in the charts. But you know, a lot of people think like pop songs are crap anyway, or just like, do you know what I mean? So it's always doing that better than the crap that's already out there. You know,
no, you're hurting my feelings.
Imogen's like,
I love pop. Yeah, I have a pop show.
You get on with Calum.
Yeah, but you don't just play like modern.
No, I play like a lot.
You do play a lot of Bieber and a lot of One Direction.
Yeah.
Look how like happy as soon as I said that. You're like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I do.
Hey, there's a market for everything, isn't there? But you were saying, Drew, we digress.
Yeah, no, that was it, man. Like, it's just great. It was doing some banging pop songs. That were like, people were like, yeah.
I'd like to know, like, say, because me and Josh were saying like fairly recently that like we should get him back on the show soon, maybe like do like another cover track, because that was quite fun last time when we did Somewhere I Belong by Linkin Park and that, and you know, obviously it's always good to chat to Josh and stuff, but I know that Josh is against the implementation of AI art, but I'd be interested to know like to what an extent, like, do you know what I mean, like how nuanced are his thought processes on that, or is it like a blanket like, I don't think it should ever be used under any circumstance? But it was weird, man, because as I said, man, like, you know, I just didn't even like think for a second that it might like ruffle any feathers, and then I saw it and I was almost a bit like that comment. I mean, I saw it and I was a bit like how do I feel about that? And then I was like, I guess like my thought process was like, I thought, you know, fair comment, you know, obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion, but like I was almost like, I guess like my thought process in general was like, I am by no means like an AI expert in terms of like fair use laws. I mean, you know, like obviously I have opinions on AI and we talk about them on the pod like fairly frequently, but in terms of like, you know, when does it become unacceptable? But I guess my reaction to it was, I don't really want us to be perceived in a way that we're supporting anything that could even potentially be damaging to any type of artist. And that's why I thought, like, you know, fair enough. I'll definitely take that on board, and we just won't, you know, use them again. And in the future, if, you know, for whatever reason, because whether it's like a bank holiday or just too busy, we can't come up with, because usually we make like a fresh thumbnail and graphic for like every show. But if we can't, then
it just takes a bit of time.
Yeah, but then if for whatever reason, if we can, like we do have some like old, you know, like thumbnail graphics, whatever you want to call it, that literally just say Pandora's box on it. Whether we made ourselves, or we were, you know, I think Lara made it, didn't she? Lara, who was like this graphic designer.
Human.
Yeah. I think
YouTube picks some as well of like from the episode. It'll pick like a frame that looks interesting, and like they do well sometimes anyway as well. Just like if you don't have like it's like someone like or like in the mid conversation in the pod or something. So
so I don't know. I think it's obviously a controversial topic.
I think if you're making like money off it, I never want to use AI to like make money, like you know, like sell a piece of art.
Weren't there even people
that it's just little things like you know, thumbnails and that. I'm not really like that bothered about it, but like or I used it when I was written a load of music. I just on Spotify, like, which you're not going to make any money off anyway, unless you're getting like, I think even if you're getting millions of streams, you're not making very much money on Spotify. But just to get like, I did a load of CD covers or whatever, or just like thumbnails for the music on YouTube, and it's like, do you know what I mean? It was like, I don't know. I suppose I don't care about it enough. To like not, you know what I mean? I just wanted to get an idea out quickly, so it's just like, I'll just use that. But but for actual artists or people that are making a living in those areas, and like, you know, for more serious projects and stuff, like, I'd always want to use real people.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard, as I said, like, I don't even really like, I still like, you know, I haven't even really got an opinion on it like too strong either way, and I haven't even really made my mind up on it. All I know is that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, as considering this is like our show and it's a representation of us, I don't really like the thought of anybody ever almost accusing us guys of being like inauthentic or in any way even like potentially, as I said, being damaging to like artists or musicians or anything like that. So I think, you know, for that reason, I think, going forward, it was almost like a little bit of like a lesson learned, like from my perspective. As I said, it was just something that, as I said, didn't even think about. Didn't even really think about it, but just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we go. That is our thoughts on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
No more cartoon ducky pictures of me.
No. That was really good.
Unless we get Josh to draw it.
Yeah, that was really funny though. It was the way that you almost like, you did look like yourself, but you almost look like how you're going to look in like 10 years if you were like a bit like more portly.
I took a picture and my eyes were like this. Like I just took a picture on my camera like that. Like my eyes like real open. And it actually got that and like did like some like wide-eyed guy just like with a hat on just for 2 ducks.
And it does look really funny how you look like really like shocked, like you've been caught in the act.
I liked the RIP over the ducks. Yeah, like I actually realised it.
I still used Canva to like.
So you did that in Canva.
I just basically got that as a funny picture of me and Bullwinkle, and then I still put the picture of us over.
Because I saw that you put the picture of us over the top. Yeah, so you used AI in part. And then you use Canva, which, by the way, is like a thumbnail / sort of graphic making program. So you
maybe
used a
people
bit of combo
against Canva as well.
Would they? Why is that? Why would people be against Canva? Because you got create stuff in that.
That uses AI to like do all the stuff that you can do on it.
Yeah, but
so but then so does PowerPoint.
That's what I mean. It's integrated into pretty much everything now. Like into something that you're trying to do using a tool. There'll be some kind of AI architecture in the background of it. So it's like, how far does this go? Where does this
can't escape
end?
We're gonna have to like draw, like scribble on a piece of paper and then like scan it to our PCs and then upload that. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it?
We'd just do a little drawing.
Mate, mine would be demented. Whenever I draw a picture, it always ends up.
Let's go like
I've got some art here from where I've been doodling when I've been at work. If anybody wants to see some of my art. So here, let me just check.
There you go, new YouTube thumbnail.
Oh yeah, I just want to check. There's no like. Imagine if there was like really sensitive information.
It's a massive beep.
Yeah, so you've got like a little horse.
Oh,
here.
There you go.
Looks a bit like a horse hippo combo. Got a crocodile.
The almighty horse hippo. That's what it says.
Yes. Oh, I must.
And then
I realised afterwards that it looked like a horse hippo.
And then the crocodile one says.
Croc the fucking croc. That's fucking, by the way, Ofcom, so don't arrest me. And then also, you can tell how long this has been here. It's like it's my AA breakdown cover. It says 30th of June to 9th of July because I wanted to make a note of when Drew was on holiday. Yeah, so we could just upload something like that.
Yeah, man.
That'd be funny.
That'd be,
I'll get out all my art skills. Yeah.
Sit down with a pen and paper for a day.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to say, as you said, because I didn't even know that about like Canva, because in my mind, because Canva is like graphic artists use it, don't they? It's like graphic artists all over the country, as far as I know, like all over the globe, like over the West, like they use Canva. Canva is something that graphic artists basically use to make thumbnails, to make graphics. So, but there's
noobs use, but they probably use graphic artists probably use in secret like Photoshop and the real programs for like the graphic art are the ones that you need more skill to do. You can basically do what you do in Photoshop a lot easier in Canva, but without as many options to like do stuff. Like you can do like magic background erase, which you use every week to just get the outline of the which I think you can do on your phone as well.
People use it for like PowerPoints as well because you can get like. You just give it your stuff and it can do it for you.
Why aren't you on the screen right now, young lady?
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
We didn't
sort that out for ages. You not to put the camera on you. I'm only joking.
I get sidetracked. It's so because I told you I can't talk and do things at the same time. So
we have an excuse though because we're guys. We can't multitask. You can because you're a woman.
Yeah, but I've got learning difficulties. That's my excuse.
Me and Drew probably have undiagnosed learning difficulties.
So we should do like one of those tests sometime, like where you do them online just for fun. See who gets the most.
I'm not
who
bothered.
Wins.
I don't want to give it power. I know I've always been a bit special.
I don't want to give it power.
Do you know what I mean?
What, like as a demon, you're not going to give it power?
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Exactly the same as a demon. I literally have exactly the same thought processes. And I'm not even kidding you. I think that one of the problems with modern society in the West is people are obsessed with labels.
Yeah.
People are obsessed with what label are you? And it can be with anything. It can be sport, in terms of football teams or rugby teams or whatever. It can be politics. It can be sexual preference or sexual ideology. It can be religion. It can be what mental health issues do you have? I don't care. I don't care about any of it. I care about the individual and how that person comes across to me, and I'll judge everyone as an individual. I don't care what you do want to do behind closed doors or anything like that. Obviously always up for having a friendly conversation about it. But do you know what I mean? I just hate this whole obsession with labels. Like, that person's definitely got ADHD, or they're touched with a bit of the tism, or all those things that people say. I'm like, oh right, yeah, But I think the moment, if say I was diagnosed with something, I feel like that would almost then create a thing in my head. I'd use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't mean to, I feel like subconsciously I'd be resting on that excuse a bit. Oh well, but I've got whatever, insert whatever issue, so I don't have to do this today, or I can just say that I can't do it because of this, or do you know what I mean? I feel like I'd use that as an excuse, and I feel like it would concern me more.
Yeah.
Whereas the way I think it, I think we're all unique anyway, just as people, aren't we? Right? There's no one in the world like you. There's no one in the world like Drew. There's no one in the world like me. There's no one in the world whoever's listening to this right now. There's no one in the world that's exactly like you, with the combination of things that you have passed down from all of your individual ancestors and everything. So
unless
it's
you have a doppelganger.
No. Yeah, but even then, I think are they just physically like you, or mentally as well?
Sometimes.
Because sometimes people you hear about people having an evil doppelganger. So if that was the case,
Elena Gilbert,
then they wouldn't be like them in the mind. They'd be just like them outwardly, but they'd be evil.
I suppose.
Do you reckon there's an evil version of you out there, Imogen?
No, I'm the evil version.
Oh God.
I'm the evil version.
Look, this is coming from the person who I'm like, what's your favourite bird? And you're like, penguins. And I'm like, what's your favourite colour? And you're like, pink.
Yeah, but I can still be evil.
Yeah, just
we've seen my crazy.
Yeah, dark horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are a bit of a dark horse. You do also really
the other bits, yeah.
You also are a little bit too sympathetic to serial killers. So there is a slight red flag there. It's
because I am a serial killer.
Yeah. But then,
I'm joking.
It wasn't very scary. Earlier on, we were down doing basically I was doing a little stock check of some cables downstairs, Drew. And literally there was a spider on the floor, and Imogen ran out.
It was a big spider.
But not just out of the room. She ran out of the whole downstairs. I was gonna lock
myself in the bathroom.
I was like, what? I was like,
one of those.
I was like, oh, all right then, okay.
It was a big. It was one of the fat ones.
I think they're called.
One of the big ones,
I think they're called British wandering spiders. Maybe.
Well, one of those on me fell off this morning when I was in bed. I woke up, saw it, and I was going on my phone, and I was checking it was still there, and then it disappeared, and it was on my bed, and I called my nan down to come get it, even though my mum was. We were both waiting. Tried to get my cat to get it. She fell asleep.
Quite hilarious that you and your mum both had to call upon your poor old nan.
Yeah. She came down and had a coffee though. She was there a couple of hours, so she enjoyed it.
It's not like you just got her in, took care of the spider, and you were like, see you later.
No, I didn't kick her out.
That would have been brutal, wouldn't it?
No, she's had to stay there whilst I got everything I needed from my room to get dressed and ready as well. So I literally grabbed my clothes and ran out the room. Yeah. I was like, nah, not staying in there.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, there's a spider that Imogen saw. It's when every autumn, everybody in the UK will know them. Every autumn, there's that big. They're harmless, but that big spider that starts coming out of the woodwork.
The thick one.
Yeah, and because it's the two things on that.
Yeah.
And for front of its
face. For people that don't know, the reason why you see them every autumn, or why it's so much more likely to see them in the autumn, is because that's when they mate. So I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying the males come out of their little dens, hiding spots, webs, whatever you want to call it, and they go in search of females. So that's the reason why everyone starts seeing them everywhere, because the males are actively in search of females. Because obviously, they're not like us. They don't have dating apps and mobile phones or whatever.
Can't they just do it in private?
They literally just have to wander around the earth until they find a female, and then the poor buggers mate with them and get eaten.
I hope the female ones get eaten as well, and then all spiders just die, don't I?
How could the female ones get eaten once the males are eaten though? Do you know what I mean?
You eat them. You can eat them.
Imagine if that's the way that it worked. The males get eaten by the females, and then Calum eats all the females.
And all of the next generation.
Yeah, but that'd be him too, wouldn't it? Imagine that.
I had to get a really big one out of the house yesterday.
Did you?
I hate spiders.
Was it one of those ones, do you reckon, Drew? big long legs and the brown bodies and a bit hairy.
And I just about got it. You know, like a mixing like jug that has all the
what, so like for like a blender
up the side and that.
For like a blender,
just not for a blender, but just one that you would have to mix eggs in or something.
Okay.
Not a shake one, just general kitchen appliance.
I'm with you. I'm with you now. Yeah, like has a pouring bit.
Yeah. So I just about, that was like, okay, that was big enough to go over to get it. So I had to sneak up and do that, and then put a bit of card behind, and then I chuck it out the window then.
Yeah.
But yeah, Meg did an imaging and was like running away.
Well, I made a deal with the.
Does she not like him either, Meg?
No, I made a deal with the spider that if it stayed in that place on my wall, then I'd let it live. And when my dad got home and captured it, I'd get him to put it out the window. Otherwise, he flushes out the toilet because it's easier. So it signed a death wish. So spider. No. Usually I try and
imagine if the RSPC would not get kicked on your door. It's like, no, when I speak to what's your dad called?
Harvey.
Can I speak to Harvey Legg?
Oh God, don't. No, he'd probably be like, it's a spider. Because my mum and me don't like spiders. We're like, but don't kill them. Yeah. But he still puts them in the toilet because it's easier.
To be fair, I think a lot
he usually accidentally squishes it as well, so that's probably why. Yeah. But I'm going to have to move my bed later because I think it might have gone underneath my bed, so I'm going to have to try and move my bed and see where it is, which he's not going to enjoy.
My sister Sherelle's pretty hardcore with spiders. She just grabs them with her hand. And like she does this thing where she like cups it like that. No matter how big they are, she'll like do it like that. And like cup it and just have it in his hand, in her hand like that, and then she just I'm like, bomb out.
I mean, I think
I don't even like money spiders, like the really small ones.
Really, that's crap. They're just so small though. Like, how could you be afraid of that? It's so tiny.
They're just all the same.
It's like smaller than an ant, a money spider, isn't it?
Like I don't ants either.
No.
I don't like bugs, do I? So it's like
any like arachnid or insect.
None.
Basically.
No, they've got too many legs and they're just weird. Too many eyes, legs.
I really like beetles though. You don't like beetles?
Don't like anything.
It's like
poor things that you see on their back all the time when we go on walks. Do you ever see that? Like
what things?
Like big beetles, like when they go on their back and then they can't flip themselves back over.
I thought you meant they had something weird like on their back. No. Yeah, when you actually see them on their back.
I give them a little flick and back over.
Yeah, man, I always give them a little flick as well. Got to flick the bug. Yeah, as opposed to
little bug.
No.
The baked.
Yes. The baked vegetable. The baked legume. The baked legume.
Baked Heinz.
Yes, Heinz. Weird that Heinz have a monopoly on beans. But that's a different that's a matter for another day. Yeah. We'll have to find out why that is, you know? Why are Heinz like the king of beans, you know?
Yeah. Probably because the name's just popular because of like Heinz tomato ketchup and
Heinz means
Heinz
beans.
Mayonnaise, all those different things. So it's probably like they just mainly do beans, but they have all the sauces,
lots
so everyone just knows the name.
Beans.
Or baked beans. Yeah, I mean, I don't really ever eat baked beans. I mean, do you know what? I mean, obviously I've eaten quite a few baked beans in my life because I'm British, and I think every British person has.
And they are damn tasty.
Yeah, it's like I think like a classic British meal is like, you know, when you're younger and you have something like when you're a kid and you might have like turkey dinosaurs and chips and beans or something. That's an OP
I had
kid
pepper
meal.
Pig beans the other day and I loved it. I love pig beans. They're literally just beans in the shape of Peppa Pig. Oh, I love it.
You like Peppa
Cheesy
Pig?
Bean wrap.
I love
cheesy
Peppa Pig.
Cheese.
Peppa Pig. I think she's rude.
Oh, I used to love. That's probably why I am.
You're not rude.
I
think you're a very well-mannered young lady.
Well, that's because this is a workplace.
Oh, okay. If it wasn't,
I'm joking.
You'd be abusing me
in real life.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I swear, I'm lovely. Don't look at me like that. I'm lovely.
You said your teachers always said you were so lovely.
Yes, I
Luke
am.
Child Maple gave you a glowing review to me.
Because that's me and Luke Child Maple are best friends.
Yeah, he basically sold you to me, and then I was just like, yeah, I'll let her do work experience. That's literally pretty much what it was like. I thought.
Yeah, he showed me the messages. Don't worry.
Did he? Did he actually?
He said, "Look."
Did he actually?
Not like all of them. He just said, "Look,
That's
look."
Really funny.
He said, "I can have them." He said, "I gave you a really good review."
Yeah, no, he did. I thought Luke's a switched-on guy, and I thought Annie's a trustworthy guy. I thought if Luke says that she's really good, then
did he tell the truth?
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll give you a glowing review back
Forced
to him.
to say it.
Now you're going into your next year of college, I'll give you a glowing review back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Luke, so going into
so
just second year, just want to let you know I've got this really polite girl, Imogen. Always,
she'd love to go to Bridgewater.
Always does everything I ask of her,
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, cheesy bean wraps though, Drew. There's something I always associate with you.
I love them.
I always associate
really good.
What was it? Chips and cheesy bean wrap. That's what you used to have, right?
Yeah, just like after a night out every night.
Yeah, I always remember that. Yeah, if we'd ever be like at a gig somewhere in town.
My brothers always make fun of me for having like cheesy bean wraps or just bean wraps, but I love them so much.
Because I always guarantee if we go to a kebabi, I'd always have like a large chicken sheesh wrap with like all the salad and garlic mayo and a bit of chili sauce, and Drew would always have a cheesy chip and bean wrap.
Yum.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of a secret thing on the menu. Like you could get like a cheesy garlic pizza, and it was about like £4 or something. It was like cheaper than a normal like mozzarella or something.
Right.
But it was literally like a pizza. You had a pizza base, you had all the cheese on, and I always used to get that as well because it was like real good value as well for like
basically like you're getting a banging almost like
pizza.
Getting like a banging garlic pizza. But for like cheaper than even a margarita. Boom.
Yeah.
So good, isn't it?
Do you know what I saw earlier?
What's that?
I was looking through Instagram.
Yeah.
And I saw this person. It was on this news place that I follow. Always just give me my news. Called Puberty. That's the account.
It's called Puberty.
The account is called Puberty. Yeah. It's followed by like a lot of people though. It's like a lot of celebrities follow it as well.
Right.
Gives me all my information of news, and I saw that they apparently captured a orange shark.
I saw that, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. Like some guy caught like an orange. Can you remember where it was? Like in America,
Costa Rica, was it?
Yeah, in the
Somewhere
Americas
like
somewhere. Yeah, I remember.
It was.
I saw that. I can't remember what type of shark it was, but it's like a bright orange shark.
It was in. Hang on, almost there.
While you're talking about that.
It was in Costa Rica, yeah.
Funny. Zach Wild follows Puberty.
Does he?
I just looked it up. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Wait, I'll show you the.
Zach Wild follows loads of stuff. I love Zach.
That's me.
Oh wait. Oh, bit more to the to your. There you go. There you go. Orange shark. So they're usually
Orange
like a dark brown colour.
Yeah, that was just bright orange.
Considering we were talking about AI earlier, did you hear that Denmark has just passed a revolutionary law?
No.
Oh yeah.
Where citizens now automatically own the copyright to their own face, voice, and body. This is basically to like start a war on deepfakes because of like the implication of deepfakes and how it can be really harmful.
Yeah, because if there's no like repercussion from someone using your then they'll just do it, won't they? Me and Meg were talking about it, like having a baby and that. Like we're like, should we be putting like pictures of like kid up online?
Yeah, I've had the same conversation with them because it makes you freaked out, doesn't it? That they like identity gets stolen. But I've got I have got a private profile like on Instagram and Facebook, so only really like people on my friends list. And I'd like to think I haven't got anybody that freaking weird. Do you know what I mean? Like. That I like, do you know what I mean? Is that my friend? Because if only my friends basically can see, even if they are just Facebook friends. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, imagine if Drew deep faked Evie. Hey, evil.
And you, all of you. I'll take all of you.
Imagine that, evil mastermind. But yeah, it's the first law of its kind in Europe. And it means that now, if somebody uses your face in a deep fake of any kind, whether it's for a scam, for some sort of pornographic thing, political reason, you now have full legal power to have it taken down and take action.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Because people,
blanket across everything.
Yeah, now according to like Denmark, they just see it. It's not just about your identity. It's about like it's the same way that if somebody did something to you physically, would obviously that would be like a violation of you. It's basically putting your digital self more in line with your real self, because your digital self can cause you as much damage in the modern world as your physical self. Like if your digital self can ruin your reputation, can gain access to your bank account, can ruin your life, can get you fired from a job, that's just as damaging as anything that you could actually do in the real world. So I think that's it's really good. So Yeah, in an age of cloning, copyright and faking, Denmark says you are your own intellectual property. Culture Minister Jacob Engel-Schmidt explains everyone should own their own image in the AI age. It's not just regulation, it's a declaration of human rights updated for the modern age. The law targets harmful use cases, specifically, as I said, fake porn, scam calls and false political propaganda, but it still protects satire and parody, a balance between freedom and safety. Once passed, the law will give people 3 key rights: demand the removal of AI-generated content that uses their likeness, to seek compensation if harmed in any way, obviously not just physically, just reputation, could be anything, and to hold platforms accountable for hosting deepfakes. Big fines will be given to platforms that don't remove flagged content. Mandatory takedown systems will be put in place, and oversight to track AI misuse across the web will be implemented. So that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like it's going to most likely spread across Europe. It looks like Denmark's just sort of at the forefront of it, so that's pretty cool.
Probably.
Oh, that's good.
Some friends of mine have just moved to Denmark.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if you... Oh, yeah, of course you remember him, Drew. You're Mexican.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, Mexican. At my wedding, Imogen,
Drew
got freaking white girl wasted as you like.
That does not surprise
He
me.
got, no, like literally, like so...
That's the last time it's happened.
So white girl... It's like he got so white girl wasted. It's a bit like Voldemort. It's like...
Put me off for a good few years.
What, like I
was like, you say it put you off for a good few years, Drew. It hasn't even been a year yet.
Oh.
and you're drinking again already. And Drew's like, that put me off for a good few years. Sorry, what did you say, man?
It's for the next, it's not the years haven't happened yet, but like,
Mate,
he knows he's foreshadowing.
That was such a hilarious comment. That put me off for a good few years.
How long ago was your wedding?
It was like last October.
Oh, so not even a year ago.
No, it's coming up a year, but not quite, yeah.
No.
That's hilarious.
So you're lying down there.
Yeah, he's like, that put me off for a good couple of years.
No, it has.
Feels like it.
Do you mean you're just not going to get white girl wasted? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see about that,
I haven't
mate.
since.
We'll see about
that. And I won't.
The next social gathering where we're together might happen.
But I have started drinking again.
Yeah.
Just like lightly.
I reckon if it's an event where either or, me and Josh are there and a couple. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of situation might happen.
I'm going fishing with my dad soon as well, and like, that's all. He drinks fish, so like, I'm hoping that's.
I've got a picture of Drew.
Right.
I've got a picture of Drew from about 2016, and Drew sent me it the morning after he'd gone drank a bottle of whiskey with his dad. And it's a picture that his dad took when he found Drew in the toilet, and Drew is like naked, sat on the toilet, but the wrong way round. So he's like leaning on like, what's it called, like
on the like top of the toilet.
Yeah, the cistern. He's lying on the cistern, and you can just see his butt crack obviously from the back, and he's just asleep, passed out like that. And do you know what? I think I still have it on my phone to this day. Even though I've swapped my phones about like 3 times since then. I think like every time, because you just re-upload your photos or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's just
still drink.
Fish.
Yeah, because Drew just said like drinking like a fish. Do fish drink? I never thought of this. Like, they drink?
Water, they breathe kind of from taking in water, don't they? And then
surely that's not drinking. So drink, do they or not?
They must have to. They must have to have water. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess like the saying comes, because water's constantly going in their mouths, but it's like getting processed and that sort of goes out their gills and stuff, doesn't it? But I'm pretty sure every living creature needs water to survive.
I forgot that fish didn't breathe air.
Well, they do have oxygen, but it's through the water. As Drew said. Yeah. We obviously can't process oxygen through water. We would just drown. But
is that why they can't breathe outside of water?
Yeah.
But if they breathe oxygen, then surely they can.
Yeah, but it has to be. Yeah, but that's the same way.
It needs to be processed through your lungs, to breathe.
Yeah. Your camera's just turned off.
I don't know. Just try and turn it on again, maybe.
Hang on.
Don't worry. It's not. I mean, it's not the end of the world if for some reason just.
No, I mean it's not on here either.
Oh.
Is it?
There's no battery. Yeah.
That's cool.
Plug it in.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine.
Should we have a 2 minute? Should we have like a 2 minute break?
Yeah, we'll have a 2 minute break.
Plug it back in.
Listen to the Eagles, guys. It'll be fun. Cracking song. One of the best guitar solos of all time, in my estimation. Oh, how good is that, honestly?
Clearly he's back.
Oh, Eagles, Hotel California.
Yeah.
Freaking love that. That guitar solo at the end. Oh, man. It's like butter. Like butter to my ears, that is. Like butter to my ears. Have you guys ever heard about why Ozzy Osbourne stopped taking acid?
No.
You might have done, Drew. I feel like it's the sort of thing that just because you just would have seen it at some point.
I can't remember.
So
I've heard a story about this, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
So obviously Ozzy Osbourne recently passed away. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Love Ozzy. So obviously he was notorious during his life for being a man that partook in both the heavy consumption of alcohol and drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. Pugs, not drugs, as they say.
Yes. Woof.
My mum's got a nightie that says "Pugs, not drugs" on it.
Oh, I love that.
It's got like a picture of a pug on it.
I love that.
Whenever I see her, and I'm like, that is hilarious.
I want one.
Yeah. Do you?
Yes.
Well, I'll keep that in mind just in case, we ever get you like a little work.
A pug?
What? Not
in the nightie? A pug in the nightie?
No, that's too much. Not going to spend that much money.
Boo!
If I'm like Shein, there's like a real cheap nightie that says it on now. £3.
Love it.
Anyway, during the recording of Black Sabbath Volume 4, which might be my favourite Black Sabbath album, purely because of how much I love Supernaut. Actually, not just because of that. I think it's also the album that's got Snowblind on, and Snowblind is an absolute banger. And I also believe maybe Laguna Sunrise, which is also a banger. Loads of bangers on Volume 4. Anyway, during the recording of Black Sabbath Volume 4, Ozzy Osbourne took 10 tabs of acid. And then he went out of the studio. He went out of the studio for a walk. He ended up standing in a field talking to a horse. For what to him seemed like about an hour. In the end, the horse turned around and told him to F off. Ozzy said, "That was it for me." I just have the idea that
was it not a horse?
No, it was a horse, but it was that fact, like to him, how spinny it was that he was chatting to this horse for an hour, and then to him, like the horse turned around and was just like, "F off." And it just really Spanoxed him out. He was just like, right, that's it. Like, I'm not going to take acid anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it tripped him out.
Wait, so was the horse actually talking or not?
No one will ever know. But it span him out.
Ozzy.
So
definitely seemed that way.
Yeah. So to Ozzy, it seemed like the horse told him to F off.
Okay.
And I think he just was.
Do you reckon it was a human that went, "Get away from my horse"?
Right. Well, I guess there's several ways you could interpret this. And I'd be interested to hear, any friends out the pod out there, what is your theory? So, in my mind at least, these are the options, right? There was nothing there at all. The whole thing was a hallucination.
Not even a horse.
Yeah. Option 2, somehow Ozzy taking acid allowed him to communicate with animals.
That'd be sick. I would
that
start
would
taking
be sick.
it.
Turned him to some sort of like crazy brony
I would
Dr.
have
Dolittle.
to take it just to talk to animals.
Oh my God. I'm just going to start taking acid just so she can try and stop.
Oh, no, I swear.
No, not. I swear. Please. If you're listening, Nan.
I swear I'm not, Nan.
Don't worry, Diane. We wouldn't let her do that. Fired instantly. No, we're joking.
Oh, superpowers didn't come in handy.
Yeah. Superpowers. Yeah. So maybe him taking acid allowed him to suddenly communicate with horses.
Okay.
Or animals in general, in which case the horse did actually tell him to F off because it was so fed up with him talking to it, ranting at it for an hour. I guess option C is, and most likely, is there was a horse there and he was ranting it for an hour, but it was the acid that made him think that the horse told him to F off. Maybe it went like... And in his head, it was like F off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I get you. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. That's 3 options off the top of my head. There might be. There's probably more options. How creative do you want to get with it?
I like
that's
option
the maddest
2.
thing. Yeah, that's the maddest thing with hallucinations, though. They actually like you experience them as reality. So he would have actually.
Yeah.
That horse would have, no matter what happened like that, and that's how we experienced it, which is like.
I love the idea that like. Yeah. I love the idea that like Ozzy took that, and then he was just like, "Right, that is it. I've had enough. That is enough for me. I'm no more." I thought this was really, really cool. Sort of thing I'm quite into, I guess you could say. Have you guys ever heard of Fantasia cataleptique?
No.
Right. So this was like a Spartan philosophical method Nowadays, modern psychologists call this phenomenon, if you want to call it phenomenon, this method, if you want to call it a method, stress inoculation. But basically, as is quite famous, I think, as most people know, Spartan boys went through vigorous training to end up as insane warriors. Some of the best warriors, not just probably in the world of that time, but ever in the history of mankind. So at the age of 7, Spartan boys entered what was called the agoge. It was a brutal 13-year training system, but the most devastating part was not the physical punishment. It was what the Spartans called fantasia cataleptic. And this is the practice of mentally rehearsing worst-case scenarios until they feel manageable to you. Modern psychologists call this stress inoculation. It's the idea that, most people by default will do the opposite of stress inoculation, as it's not modern day, or fantasia cataleptic. And what I mean by that is most people avoid thinking about discomfort, hoping that they won't encounter it, hoping that they won't encounter discomfort. But unprepared minds catastrophize bad issues and essentially pain. Your brain then, when encountered with unexpected stress, and let's face it, we all are going to encounter stress. We're all going to encounter, whether it's physical pain, mental pain. When you do then inevitably encounter this, because your system is not used to it and is not used to dealing with it and is not prepared to deal with it, your body gets absolutely flooded with panic and stress hormones, and you feel awful. You feel exhausted. You feel stressed. You just feel like bad in every sense of the word. So Spartan trainers force boys to visualize failure, defeat, and pain in vivid detail over and over again, before and after training sessions, physical training sessions. Cool. This is not pessimism. It's preparation. By mentally experiencing the worst possible outcomes, your brain will become familiar with stress patterns, reducing shock and panic responses during actual hardship. The agoge revealed a crucial truth. Suffering in reality is always less intense than suffering in imagination, but only if you are mentally rehearsed. Spartans who practiced fantasia cataleptic reported that physical pain felt expected and normal rather than overwhelming or bad. Their minds had already adapted to the stress signatures, thus rendering the stress signatures moot. Just didn't affect them. And I think you can sort of see that in some people. I think you see people with what you call a high level of general physical preparedness. I know that's like a term that's chucked around in both the athletics world and in, say, the military. So people that have a high level of general physical preparedness. It's called GPP.
GPP.
Yeah. People just call it GPP. You can have GPP, and then you can have SSP, which stands for sports specific preparation. So obviously, say if you're a swimmer, you're going to do a ton of swimming to prepare you for swimming. If you're a marathon runner, you're going to do a ton. So that's sports specific preparation. GPP would be like, say, if you're in the army, you can't just be, you need to be a jack of all trades, But yeah, so like in GPT, so you say someone like Jocko Willink or like Pat McNamara, who we've had on the pod as a show. That was one of my favorite pods ever, actually. If you want to go check that out and you want to see a real cool guy, one of the best special forces guys to come out of America, Pat McNamara, we had him on the show. Awesome guy, grows his own veg, Metler, father, husband, cool dude, man. Loves his muscle cars, great gardener, just a good human being, but also one who could kill you very quickly. Yeah, love Pat. But
That's scary.
Nah, he's awesome, honestly. He's the
guy you get your vegetables from could also kill
you. We were having that debate on your show about bears versus men in the woods.
Yeah.
Pat would get rid of all the bad men and all the bears, and then you'd be safe forever, Imogen.
Oh, I like Pat.
Yeah, Pat's a legend.
Come save me.
Yeah, people like Pat and Jocko, they have high physical GPP. So you can pretty much any situation, whether it's terrorist attack, ridiculously high stress situation, burning building, and they react in a proper way that really seems strangely calm to the average individual.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, stress inoculation, or, what we talked about with the Spartans. So, it's the idea of, it's basically you condition yourself to find every situation, regardless of how hard, normal. And as a result, you can remain high functioning in every single situation. And the thing is, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like a life or death situation. It could be as simple as, say, anybody listening to this right now, or any of us, if we just left right now, stop what you're doing, and you just ran, and you ran until you physically collapsed, right?
I'd get to the door.
That's not the point. The point is if you did what most people do, which is try and avoid thoughts of discomfort, or just thought, right, I'm going to run, but I'm going to just try and avoid even the thought that it's going to be hard, well, then inevitably at some point it's going to get hard. Regardless of your level, your running level, it's going to get hard at some point. For some people it might be 60 seconds. For other people it might be 60 minutes. For some people it might be longer. I don't know. But at some point it's going to be hard. But the people that have prepared for that and have accepted that will deal with that far better than the people that just, almost like ignore it for their best. Because when that stress starts coming into your system, which inevitably will, the people that aren't prepared for it mentally will start essentially freaking out, and your system will almost like start going into like system shutdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't that really fascinating? I love stuff like that.
Yeah, the power of your mind, and how much your mind actually does affect your like well-being and like physically and everything. It is crazy that you can literally train it. It makes me think of like those Shaolin monks as well, that are like on top of a mountain and go through all of those like real physical like endurance and stuff, bending like iron bars on their bellies and stuff, and focusing their chi. Man, I thought it's really interesting that you can create a fortress in your mind. Definitely, man. And it's really, and we can all practice this ourselves as well.
Is that like when in Johnny English, when he pulls the thing over the hot lava rocks with like the big rock using his privates? Does anyone know what I'm on about?
I know that Johnny English is a movie with Mr. Bean in it, isn't it? Rowan Atkinson.
But have you seen the Johnny English? Have you watched Johnny English?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you won't know what I'm on about.
He touched something with lava with his gonads.
So he walked across these really hot like lava bricks.
What, barefoot?
Yeah, but holding, like, dragging a big heavy rock using his
schlong.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, that's what That's what maybe I thought you were on.
Yeah,
about,
I
think I just look crazy.
He'd practiced his stress inoculation. Also, don't you think that would be like a really good name for like a freaking like prog metal album? Stress inoculation.
Stress inoculation.
I feel like that should be like the name of like a Tool album. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think maybe there even is like a Tool song called like Innoculation or something inoculation, or maybe
isn't that like
maybe their latest
isn't inoculation like when you get vaccinated or something, or you get inoculated?
I guess so. Yeah, because it's like the idea that like it's like this thing won't.
I thought that was vaccinated.
I guess it's the idea that like inoculation is like you will not be affected.
Have you had your inoculations?
Yeah. Like you won't be affected by these things anymore. So if it's like stress inoculation would be like basically conditioning yourself to not be affected by stress.
Okay.
If you take a vaccine, I guess that would be like
you're inoculated.
You're taking so now you are inoculated against malaria or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, we live and we learn, don't we?
That's the only way I've heard it used before.
Yeah. But it's all practical. We can practice this ourselves. So very simply, for any of you out there that work out or just want to start trying to work out, before every single workout, spend 2 minutes visualizing the hardest moments of your workouts. Visualize your burning muscles. Visualize the urge to quit in your mind. Visualize the mental resistance you feel when either you're about to work out or during a workout where you're resisting it because it's hard. Picture all of that, but see yourself pushing through it. The Spartans proved that pre-experiencing difficulty makes actual difficulty feel routine. You know, it doesn't make it feel bad anymore. It's just normal to you. The same way that breathing.
Do they take it like the step further as well with like when you said about imagining the worst case? So like them getting stabbed and stuff like that.
Yeah. So they weren't. Yeah. So they were basically they didn't feel like physical pain to them didn't bother them because it felt expected to them. Yeah, because they would mentally prepare themselves for the worst possible outcome of every single scenario. So I guess that would even come right down, everything from, right up to like gruesome death. So that's one of the reasons they were just so freaking hard and so good at being soldiers.
That's cool.
And why they could train so hard to become the best soldiers, because obviously you need to train really hard to be the best soldier, because essentially it's a bit like a drag race with cars, if you want to think about it like that. A lot of it's not just the best driver. A lot of it at the end of the day is who's got the best engine, who's got the best vehicle, who's got the best vehicle. It's a combination of the two, isn't it? It's the experience and the knowing what to do mentally. But then at the same time, if you had the best guy in the world that knew what to do mentally, but you put him in, say, the body of a guy that was disabled, it still wouldn't be, you know what I mean? It still wouldn't be really any good. You need to have the combination of the two.
Combination.
The combination, yes. Imogen, why did you say it like that? Just out of interest?
I don't know.
You just felt like it?
Just whenever I say the word combination, I always go combination. It's because I must have meaning like or something like that. Someone must have said it to me before like that, and every single time I say it, I have to say it like a meme or something.
You just reminded me of something that Drew did when we were younger. I think I don't know why the camera's doing it. I think it's because it keeps getting brighter.
Yeah, I know. It's annoying me.
It's like the camera adjusts.
It's like you go too dark so you can't see, or too bright so it's like you can't see you.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just seeing the struggles of a videographer and the sun.
Yeah, the struggles of.
It's not on my side.
The struggles
working against me.
The struggles of Helios. What was I going to say to you? You two will both like this fact. But, I was going to say about Drew quickly. When we were in like year 7 or year 8, for some reason, we had like a substitute teacher come in and they did our what's it called? Registration.
Yes, register.
Register, yeah, whatever. And when they just like read out your name and you just go like, yes, miss, or yes, sir. For some reason, when the teacher, I think it was Mr. Page Simons, said Drew, Drew just went Wagwan.
Wagwan.
And then I just remember Page Simons just like putting down his pen and just being like, just slowly looking at Drew like, and being like, what? And then Drew was like, it means hello in Jamaican. And then he was just like, just say yes, sir. And then Drew was like, yes, sir.
It means hello in Jamaican.
I love how like if I tell him this, he might be okay with it. And instead he was just like, just say yes, sir, you idiot. I love that. But yeah, you saying that reminded me that it was just like you both seem to share a compulsion to be from the Caribbean.
Combination. Anything with the ending of shan.
Right.
I feel like I need to say it like that.
What, like that Portuguese rap place in town?
Indoctrination.
Isn't there that Portuguese rap place in town called like Shani's or?
Oh, Shans. I love Shans.
Yeah. Do you say it? Do you go in there and you're like Shans? Give me a Shan rap.
No, that doesn't work. It's like Asian. Anything with an Asian.
So it can't just be Shan.
No, anything with an Asian.
That's the wrong explanation.
Yes. You've not got the right destination.
I'm not Caribbean enough. I don't get your guys' lingo. You guys were both born in frickin'.
Training with mind meditation.
Drew was born in Jamaica. Drew was born in Jamaica.
You're Jamaican.
And Imogen was born in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
You'll both like this story because you both really like dogs.
I love dogs.
Do you want to hear a cool little story about dogs?
Yeah, as long as there's no death.
No, it's a really happy story.
Good.
Placed amongst the tale of death.
Drew just went, yes.
Yes. I don't like death of things.
I don't like the death thing. Wow.
Apart from last
week. That to young Drew, mate.
I'm still getting over it.
He's got PTSD from himself.
Still coming round.
He's given himself PTSD.
Oh.
Right, so this little tale I'm going to tell you about this little doggy was during the American Revolution.
Okay.
Obviously, the people that were living in America, that up until that point, I guess, were British, I guess. What did they consider themselves British at the time?
British, French, like a mixture, weren't they?
Well, yeah, the people that obviously were British weren't French. Britain and France at the time were enemies.
Yeah, but there was a part, wasn't there, like a part of...
Part of Canada.
Part of it was like French, because they did a whole like treaty thing where they like sold the French sold the land to like them, and then they did something back or whatever it was. I learned about it in America. I did the whole like Civil War or whatever it was.
Yeah, so I think right, so yeah, so obviously a lot of Europeans in general went to America. The Spanish mainly went to South America. Killed all the frickin' Aztecs and all that stuff. brought back chocolate, which everyone's very happy about.
Cacao.
You know? Brought back cacao.
Cacao is the bean, boy.
And now everybody loves chocolate cake. And obviously the British and the French more went into North America. Obviously there were, different, but the French ended up settling in terms of like what happened eventually. Obviously you've got like the French parts of, say, Canada. So like in like Quebec, say, they all speak French.
Yeah.
Even though they're still Canadian.
I've got in my blood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do, don't you? You've got a bit of French Canadian. Drew's got a bit of French Canadian.
Fun fact.
So in Quebec they all French. So they're French Canadians, which is a bit different than the other Canadians because I guess they're more Canadians that are descended from Europeans that are more likely like British or Dutch or whatever. But in the American Revolution, basically when the people decided, right, we're going to be Americans now, we don't want to pay the British taxes anymore, so we're going to fight them in a war and we're going to try and gain our independence. So when that happened, this little account happened, which I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
In October of 1777, just after the Battle of Germantown in Pennsylvania, a fox terrier wandered into General George Washington's camp. Obviously, George Washington ended up being the first American president when the Americans won the American Revolutionary War. When soldiers checked the little dog's collar, they discovered her name was Leela, and that she belonged to a general called Sir William Howe. Sir William Howe was the commander of the British forces that they had just fought against. Washington ordered the dog to be fed, cleaned, and cared for. He then wrote a note to Howe to let him know that his dog was in their care. To everyone's surprise, after days of bloodshed, both sides agreed to a brief ceasefire. In that moment, the dog was returned across enemy lines. The dog's safe return was a reminder that even in the darkness of conflict and death, goodness can still prevail.
That's cute. That's really cute. That reminds me of like the on like Christmas Day during like World War I when they played football and No Man's Land.
Yes.
It reminds me of that. I like stuff like that. It makes me happy.
Yeah, it's quite a famous one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was in a series ad.
Was it?
Yeah, I had to watch it and write about it in year 6.
Oh, that's cool. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's a cute little story.
Yeah, I know. It's quite nice, that, isn't it?
Oh, everyone loves a dog.
Yeah, I think it's just like I love how like just humane that is, and I really like the idea that like even in like war there are like certain rules, like certain things which are considered taboo. Let the best man win, even like to the death. Yeah. But
don't kill his dog.
Don't kill like innocents, like just
animals.
Or just like innocent anything, like women, children. Or I like the idea that so I can't remember. There's actually a name for it, but in Europe for hundreds and hundreds of years now, we've had like essentially like rules of war. So you'd see it in like
rules of engagement.
Yeah, rules of engagement. Drew calls them rules of engagement. They might have done. That'd be cool. I don't know. It's like that. Just I swear, I do feel like I've heard that before. The term rules of engagement. But so the idea that obviously like say you surrender to somebody, then it's like you don't hurt them from that point on.
Yeah.
And even like in some cases they get treated very, very well. Even like in the Napoleonic Wars, you'd see that. If somebody was basically like your side's getting a thrashing, you don't really think you're going to be able to escape. Your only option really at that point is like surrender or death. You'd be taken as like a prisoner of war, but in most cases like you'd be treated like
most cases in the West, I would say.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. The West, because they have different rules obviously in other parts of the world. That's why I said like in the West, like historically, even in like the Napoleonic Wars, because obviously the Napoleonic Wars were all fought between like all different European powers. Mainly, I mean, obviously everyone mainly focuses on the British and the French, but the Prussian invasions involved as well. Yeah. So were the Dutch, so were the Spanish. Things like that. Some of the Spanish were on our side, some of the Spanish were on the French side. The Spanish have always been a bit like that, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Can't really ever tell the Spaniards through in tent. Are they on our side? Are they not?
Oh,
they were like that during the second.
In the back, no problem.
Oh, Drew's got a bit of experience with that, but not.
Sorry, I speak from experience.
Yeah. It was like that in the Second World War. It was like, right, who's going to fight the Allies and who's going to fight for the Axis? And obviously, you had like Italy were ran by Mussolini, so they're like, we're going to go with Hitler. And then you had like the Greeks and stuff that were like,
not a great choice, was that?
No. Stick to making delicious food. Italy, and good cars. But yeah, and then obviously you had the Greeks who were like, no, we would never join these barbarians. And then so they were like on our side. The French were on our side for about a week, but then they surrendered, even though they're the biggest army in the world at the time. Shame, sorry, French people, but it's true. And but yeah, but then the Spanish, it was like, and the Norwegians obviously were on our side. Danish were on our side, and then the Spanish, it was like, what are you going to do, Spain?
You will stay in partial.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, you're one of the biggest powers in Europe. What are you going to do? Yeah, well, we could make a side, yeah. Except for, I'm really good friends with Hitler, and I might have a party with him.
You can leave your boats here if you want.
Yeah, you can. The Nazis can refuel their submarines and their ships at our docks, but we don't really like the English, but we're not going to say that out loud.
They needed the tourists. They needed the tourists.
What tourists? What tourists?
The British tourists.
Well, we didn't care about that at the time, did we?
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke. Didn't land.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it didn't land.
Do you think it's a little bit like the Ukraine thing at the moment as well?
Sorry, man, what?
Do you think it's a little bit like the Ukraine thing as well? Like, no one's actually in the war. Everyone is like supporting them. Like, so they basically are in the war. Like, there's like countries like support. Like,
I think it's
not supporting Russia, but supporting Ukraine. Like,
I think
with
it's complicated. Yeah, it's complicated, isn't it? Because I think so Ukraine aren't part of NATO, and as part of NATO, we will have agreements. So if you're a part of NATO, it means anybody that's in NATO gets invaded. By being in NATO, everybody else that's in NATO has to go to war with the person that's invaded that NATO nation. So if, say, Poland got invaded, because they're part of NATO, every other country that's in NATO would have to go to war with that country. But because Ukraine aren't part of NATO, we're not obliged to go to war with them. And I guess it would seem like, in some ways, more of a big deal if then we did go to war with whoever invaded Ukraine, obviously in this case, Russia. But the Russians see it as, well, the Ukrainians are sort of like the Russians anyway. Do you know what I mean? And like, if you go back far enough, the Ukraine would have been part of like the Soviet Union and going back hundreds of years. And there are lots of like Ukrainians say that have like Russian cousins and vice versa. So it's like the Russians see it as like, this is like a the Russians would see it almost as like, this is like an issue that doesn't concern you.
It's our family, not yours.
Yeah, but then the Ukrainians see it as like, well, we'd actually rather be we'd basically rather almost like be with these guys than be with you, Russia. And then obviously, so we've been giving them all this help and stuff, haven't we? Like ammunition and stuff, but we haven't put actual boots on the ground. Well, officially, I know that there are some reports that there have been like some special forces have been doing stuff in Ukraine, like on the side of the Ukrainians. But I'm not sure how verified it is.
I have no idea, but seeing as the women would now have to go to war, seeing as I'm 18 in a couple months, I'm quite happy with it. We're all staying calm and all being friends.
What do you mean? What were you doing?
Well, I'm assuming so, because wasn't it like anyone from 18 in like the Great Wars and all that? It was like anyone from 18, it was only men. But now it's all equal rights and that. And
that's just stupid, don't you think?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, though?
I said to my dad, I said, if there's a war, I'm getting pregnant, so I'm not going.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. And to be honest, I actually think that's really stupid. And I don't want I wouldn't want like my missus or my kid to like have to
I'm
go to war.
about as useful like doing some pull-ups as I am shooting someone. I can't do a pull-up. I'm not going to be able to shoot someone either.
I think that's just like an example of where like almost like political has gone mad. You know?
I don't know if that is true though. It might not be, but I'm just
there are lots of women in the military, and I think that's cool. Do you know what I mean? Because I know
it's their choice.
Like so like my I know that like my great aunt Audrey was in the RAF during the Second World War, but she didn't fly planes. You know, she did like crucial stuff on the base. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing stuff.
And
like
she did
that.
like a lot of like refueling of planes when they were down, and you know a lot of the stuff in like the more like intelligence rooms and stuff like that, and working with the radars. But I think from a common sense point of view, like I'm a believer in playing to strengths. I think so. There's lots of things that women can do better than men. And I'm not going to claim that men can do those things better than women, but there's also things that men can do better than men. And like, let's put it this way, right? Say you've got like a 6'5", like 240 pound Russian special forces soldier who's just like trained to kill all of his life, and then you're going to put some like 5'5", 18-year-old girl up against them. Like that's not going to be a good fight. You know, you're basically just sending that girl to get brutalized and slaughtered.
Yeah.
Not just that, but pretty much in every war throughout war history, even in the Second World War, which obviously is a relatively recent conflict, you see like a lot of sexual assault and stuff, like a lot of villages and towns that were, say, overrun.
Yeah.
So like you're basically like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's that whole element of it as well,
You
which
put it onto the
doesn't
battlefield.
make me feel comfortable. Like not being image and fun, right? But if you attack me right now, I don't reckon it would take me long at all to subdue you.
You probably sit there and go, stay back. Just like that's like,
Yeah.
like, are you done now?
And that's the thing, obviously, like, you know, but
It's like a chihuahua.
yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, obviously, and it sounds like really comical for us to like talk about it in jest. But I think in like the seriousness of war, if that was actually like the case, that'd be horrible. That'd be brutal. And I'd say I know that like, with like the
women
royal,
would be like done for. Like, I especially would be done for. I mean, like if there's many women like me, we're done.
And I know
I'm
that
so weak.
And obviously it's a fact as well, like that men physically can perform like basically a higher level than women. That's why men and women don't compete against each other in like the Olympics and stuff. And why like say like it would be awful for say like the women's rugby team to play the men's rugby team. You know, like the fastest, you know, like Usain Bolt is the fastest bloke who's ever, you know, lived. No, but we know anyway, like verified with like athletic records. I don't know how fast like the fastest woman that's ever lived in. The fastest woman. I don't know who the fastest woman that's ever lived is, who she is, but her time isn't anywhere near like Usain Bolt's.
Yeah.
And like say like I'm quite into like strength sports and stuff, and I know that say like the strongest woman in the world, like her numbers of lifting, whether it's like deadlift, squat, log bench, lift, whatever you want to, they're not anywhere near the top men's, right? It's just a fact. It's not, and the thing is, it's not about being rude or discriminatory to women, because I said there's lots of things that women can do better than men. It's just the fact that men, like, are born with say like more testosterone. We've got higher bone density.
Just biology, man.
Yeah, because we've got bigger bones, we've got bigger muscle attachments, we've got testosterone, which is basically just makes us really strong. You know, so there's lots of reasons why, you know, and it, you know, it goes back to a lot of like evolution. Like earlier on, we were joking about a high image and, you know, should be able to multitask. Like women have evolved to multitask better than men because, you know, traditionally, you know, when we were hunter-gatherer societies, men would become specialists. So like men would be like the ones primarily like hunting. So let's say like men would go out and hunt mammoths. So you have to be like laser focused in on like hunting and killing and surviving against these big wild animals. But the women would be back at like your base and they would be with the children, but at the same time they'd probably be sewing animal hides and stuff, and then at the same time they might be like stirring a pot of food. So it made sense that women have evolved to multitask better than men, and men are like sort of like specialists. And I think you see that a lot just in life in general. Like, you know, like men like to laser focus in on stuff, whether it's like sport or like their love of cars or their love of guitaring or their love of whatever it might be, your hobby might be. Whereas women in general, like they are just much better at doing several things at a time.
Yeah.
So it's like overall,
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like overall, it's not that one's more talented than the other, but it's about playing to strengths. You know, like I'm not going to pretend that I can do something. You know, like I'm as good at women as certain things, but at the same time, let's not pretend that. You know, let's not pretend that like, you know,
these arms are doing nothing. Seriously.
You know. So I just know. I think that's like, you know, where does the pursuit of like quote unquote equality become madness? Because you can be equal without being the same as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, of course, I think that we should be respected equally.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we have to be the same.
No.
You know, and I think that we should
you
actually
should have choice and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But it's just if it's like if people have to go up, you know, like kind of saying like you could get called up like
mandatory service. Yeah.
If you want to do something like you get like, you know, Vikings, like you'd have shield maidens that would like be very much more battle ready than
Lagatha baby.
I would do my part.
Yeah, you know, things like that. But and then also I follow this lady on Instagram and she was like an insane sniper.
Right, yeah.
But I suppose that was more like out the way, kind of like not physically
and that would be great.
Fighting people all the time. And she was an amazing sniper, and they saw like her skill with like a rifle, because like I think it was like her granddad or something would like take her hunting and stuff.
Yeah, I'm all for that. All for
and
that.
you know, and then she became like this
individual
amazing
people.
like but It's totally dependent, but I don't think anything should be like forced as it's almost like a quota thing. Like we've got to get this.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's almost like treating things as like tokens, and obviously they make jokes. They make like that in South Park, don't they? But it's like the idea that like, okay, we have to have like a black guy, we have to have a Mexican guy, we have to have an Asian guy, we have to have a woman, because if not, we're going to be accused of being like
not going to be diverse enough.
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't think that's going to happen in a war, though, is it? That's what people have got to think about. Like, are they really?
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Are people going to really be sat at home like, oh, they didn't have someone who's heterosexual, they didn't have someone who...
But that's the thing, Imogen. So, like, I know for a fact that, say, the tests to become a Royal Marine in the UK have become easier because the Royal Marine, whoever, like, governs the Royal Marines, felt a lot of pressure to have more women in the Royal Marines. Oh. But because the tests were so hard that obviously most men can't get into it, and just because a lot of the training that goes into being a Royal Marine, it's like, say, like hiking miles and miles and miles with ridiculously heavy backpacks and stuff like that. So and that's just because men carry more muscle mass and are like better at things like that. Yeah. Like only like less than 1% of men would get in. Yeah. So then as well, like hardly any women could get in. So they've made it easier so that women can get in. So then they can go look how
easier for the men as well. So you're gonna have
subpar men as well. Yeah. Entering. And I know that a lot of people, like ex-Royal Marines, have like left the Marines and are like basically spreading awareness about it because they're saying like, look, this is going to affect our, like, if we have to go to war, this is going to keep people killed. Yeah. Like, you're not doing the people that you're letting in any favors as well, because they're going to be sent to the most dangerous places on the planet, and they're going to be fighting soldiers from countries who aren't politically correct and are just going to be sending in like their top 1% of the 1%, and the people that we're sending, we're going to be sending them to their death because they're not going to be as prepared. It's a bit like what we were talking about earlier. They're not going to be as prepared. They're not going to have that GPP, that general physical preparedness, to the level of certain other countries who are just going to be a lot more common-based about it,
I think a bit of my thing is, though, not only am I very clearly not strong enough, but I don't think I could, like... I feel like I'd be a bit like the guy in Hacksaw Ridge that, like, won't touch a gun. I wouldn't be able to, because I cried accidentally killing a woodlouse. Like, I wouldn't be able to kill a human. Yeah, but that's no matter what, I don't think I would. I think I would rather let them kill me than have to be killing somebody else.
As Drew said, you shouldn't have to. And there's always a role that everyone can play. So, like, in the Second World War, for example, like, because feeding the nation was so important, like, farmers didn't have to enroll. Farmers did farm because farmers were considered such a crucial backbone of British society because we needed to feed everybody. So I know that, say, for example, like my missus, her family are basically, she comes from like a long lineage of farmers. Yeah. So I don't think any of her ancestors, at least on her mother's side, fought in the wars because they were all like busy feeding. They were all like farming all day long, making sure that all that everyone had milk and bread and vegetables and stuff. Because without that, like, you can train all you like, and you can have as many soldiers as you want, but if you can't feed them, then they're all you're just going to either die, or not. Even if it's not as extreme as that, you're all going to be malnourished because you obviously need to fuel the machine. But I think what a lot of this comes back down to as well. And we've talked about this on the pod before. Have you heard of equality of opportunity versus equality of outcome before?
I think I've heard, might have. Oh. Yeah, rings a bell.
So basically, and this is what I very much strongly believe. I would go as far to say is I don't just believe it. I think it's the only right way. So I think what we should strive for as a civilization is equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome. So what you see a lot being implemented a lot in Western society nowadays is equality of outcome. And I'll explain the differences between equality of opportunity and equality of outcome. So equality of opportunity is say a woman, a white dude, a Chinese dude, a black dude, and a Mexican all applied for the same job, right? Equality of opportunity is they all should have the same opportunity to get that job. Mm-hmm. The person that gets the job should just be whoever is best qualified for the job.
Okay.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
So. Yeah.
They've all got the exactly equal opportunity to get a job. Yes. None of them are discriminated against with the possibility of getting that job. Yeah. It just comes down to who's the best qualified for that job. And whoever's the best qualified, regardless of whether it's the woman, the black dude, the Chinese guy, the Mexican, or the white dude, whoever's best qualified should get that job, regardless of their background, what they look like, the culture they're from, their religion, whatever, their sex. Right. What you see with equality of outcome is almost the opposite of that. Equality of outcome would be what Drew said. It's almost like tokenism.
Okay.
So equality of outcome would be, say you've got like a squad of 4 guys, right? And you need one more person to fill that squad. So you need a squad of 5, right? And say, let's say 5 black guys. Just so happens it's all five black guys apply for that position. But then the person goes, because they're going basically by that equality of outcome, and they want to like meet a quota.
Yeah.
They're going, well, we've already got a black dude, so I don't want any of those black dudes being in the team. We need like a Chinese chick.
Yeah.
Right. And they go, well, these guys are really well qualified, but they're all black dudes. So what do you want us to do? And they'll be like, well, find me a Chinese chick. And then they'll find like a Chinese chick, and she's nowhere near as qualified for the job. And they'll say, do you want this job? And she'll be like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because they're more concerned with the outcome than the opportunity, the equality of opportunity. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I get you.
Yeah. So it's like what they care about is that they say on paper, look, guys, we've got one of everybody. We are super inclusive. You know, that's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But as a result, if you're picking people like that for whatever job it is, rather than picking people on merit, which is you should always do in life, I think. Just judge people by merit, you know. Give the job to the best person, whoever it is. And if it ends up
Life
being
should be a meritocracy.
Yeah, exactly. And if it ends up, if it just so happens that it turns out to all be a team of women, or all a team of Asians, or all a team of white guys, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're truly not racist and truly not sexist, it doesn't matter anyway. Because it's quite weird to me that if you're so into looking through life through the lens of race and sex, that you're walking into a room and you're constantly thinking like, oh right, well there's only this type of, do you know what I mean? To me that's weird in the first place.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be thinking of life like that. You should just.
I get you.
Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's basically the 2 different philosophies of like opportunity.
The world's getting weird.
Equality of opportunity versus equality of outcome. So I'm a massive proponent for equality of opportunity.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there.
And meritocracy.
Yeah.
You know, like how would you like it? Say if somebody else wanted to have work experience at the same time as you, and I actually thought that you'd do better than the other person, but I didn't let you in maybe, but I went with the other person because I felt like they would just make us seem more diverse or something.
Okay.
Then that wouldn't be fair to you, would it?
No.
I'd be discriminating against you.
Yeah.
And you actually deserved it more.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be fair, would it?
No.
And if the other person maybe was more qualified, and if the other person was more qualified, regardless of whether they were male, female, or whatever race they were from, then I should give that to them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's basically all it is.
Okay, I get you. Yeah.
And like it is, like you say, it's discriminatory to the person that actually has the skills. Like that's worse than like being then calling it discriminatory because it's a race thing, because it shouldn't be like, it should, like you say, it should be on what skills you have, what you can bring to the team, what you can bring to the table, all that stuff, you know.
I think people are just very scared these days because of all the cancel culture and stuff like that. So they just are like trying to think ahead. Yeah,
but can you believe that even like but I just think it's
down a dark path.
It's sent us down a very dark path, and it's almost like madness. But I listened to a podcast not long ago. It was one of the guys that was like used to be one of like the higher ups in the RAF, in the British Air Force.
Oh yeah.
And he basically left. He was originally fired by them basically because he spoke out about this sort of thing.
Oh, that's weird.
Because he was in charge obviously of like some really important procedures and stuff in the RAF, and he said that he found out that there were, say, like white lads who had been waiting over 2 years. They'd put in their application forms over 2 years ago that weren't being allowed into the RAF. And he was like, what? I'm a bit confused. Why aren't these lads being allowed to join? And they were like, oh, sir, it's because these rules we've sent down by the Ministry of Minister of Defence that have said basically we've got too many white guys in. And there were like people from other that literally just like other coloured skin. Like this thing, it shouldn't matter. That were basically getting through like a month after their application. But then the white lads were waiting over 2 years, and it's like all their life their only dream was of being in the RAF, and they were still on the witness. And he was like, why? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Like, do you know what I mean? It should be equal. Like, regardless of everyone, it should be equal. And then he ended up getting fired from the Ministry of Defence. And he basically said, if you don't give me my job back, I'm going to go public with this. And then they gave his job back. But then after a couple more years, he became disillusioned because not only did it not get better, it just got worse, but like in other sectors and other ways as well. And then he basically quit. And now, like, one of the things he does is he's like basically a little bit of a whistleblower for how like mental it is in the military and stuff like that nowadays. And you know, he was saying that like
that doesn't surprise me though.
Yeah, I think it's really bad. He was saying, you know, back when he joined like 30 years ago or whatever it was just like everyone was treated equally. It was like, you know, it was more like a merit thing. It was like, look, if you can get through the training, you know, if you get your application in, then you'll get an interview, then you'll start your training. If you can't do the training, you're out. If you can do your training, you're in. And it's literally as simple as that. And it doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter your background.
That's what it should be.
Yeah. But as nowadays, it's like almost like
especially in something like that when it's like defense stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
you think like that's super important.
You're not qualified to like protect people, which is what you're kind of supposed to do. But just because you fit the like look that they want, I feel like you need the skill as well.
He was saying as well, it's crazy because he was saying exactly what you're saying, because the planes that they fly in the RAF, like the Typhoons and that, they're so insanely fast. You've got to bear in mind they go past the speed of sound.
Yeah.
They're so dangerous and they're so fast. He said like literally the tiniest wrong maneuver and you're dead. He said not only is it dangerous in terms of our national security, but it's literally dangerous for the people that you're letting fly the planes, because if it's not literally like the creme de la creme of your selection, you know, the people you've got up for selection, if it's not the top tier guys and gals, then you're literally sending those people to their death.
Yeah.
You know, which is mad.
Great.
I also think there's something really ironic about, say, the pursuit of, at least in your mind, not being discriminatory, ending up being discriminatory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really freaking weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's like if your MO, you're selling that your MO is not to be discriminatory against people.
Yeah.
But then you end up discriminating against people.
Not great.
And the whole point is that, and as I said, the whole point is it shouldn't really matter who you're discriminating against, because if the truth is that we are all equal, which is what I think is the case, you know, which we are all equal.
It's a human.
Then it shouldn't really matter who you're discriminating against. What should matter is the fact is whether you're being discriminatory or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
which is
really
weird nowadays. We live in a crazy world. We live in a very weird world.
And
complicated.
It's getting weirder, isn't it? And and I know as you get older, like you know, moan about like rules and taxes and things like that. But the things that are happening in England every day, like, it is proper sketchy, like with just like the new laws that are coming in and all of this stuff. Like I saw one the other day about council tax and about stamp duty, and it's going to be passed within days. Like it's not actually in law at the moment, but it's going to be passed. And it was saying about the way that like stamp duty is going to be when you actually sell your house, rather than when you buy your house and pay stamp duty. It's going to be when you sell your house and you'll owe all this money as soon as you sell it. So as soon as you sold it, you'll just have to give over the stamp duty, not when you buy the next place, if you know what I mean. Like, not when you buy one. So all the people that have already paid stamp duty on buying their house, then when they sell it, they're going to have to pay stamp duty again before they've even bought the next.
At the very least, there should be a rule that should only apply.
Anyone who's already got a house, you shouldn't have to.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or it starts.
Because if not, then that is ridiculously corrupt.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And then also, they were talking
all about money
as well. To redistribute the wealth, like of the wealthy parts of the UK and the wealthy cities and all of that stuff, and where property price is more expensive, to redistribute it to the more poorer parts of the UK, in the view of like, taking from the rich, given to the poor. They're talking about council tax and stamp duty. So council tax going up, but also stamp duty. Like with this new rule, like if you own a house, you will have to pay a yearly fee of like tax for just owning that house. And I'm like, how would that? You know, and they were saying for like if your house is based on what your house is worth. So if your house is worth like 500 grand, you'd have to pay like 10 grand a year in tax just for owning that house. And
Madness,
it's like,
man.
imagine that if all of a sudden, like, you know, you're not. Say you bought the house 30 years ago when it was worth 100,000, but now it's worth 500,000 because like prices have gone up. But you haven't actually got much of an income. Like maybe it's an older couple or something, and they're just in there living in a house that's worth like your grandparents or something that have just got a
so you're sort of wealthy in terms of what you own, but you're not actually. But you're not wealthy in terms of what you have in the bank.
You're not making money. You've got your pen or something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, these people would have to pay 10 grand a year to the government just for living in that house.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing that's happened to the farmers, really, isn't it? Similar thing. Yeah.
And
so corrupt.
And I just think if this actually happens in the UK, like this is going to be crazy and easy.
Oh man,
Like, what's the point in owning your own home? You've got to just pay all these tax to the government just for owning your home, which is like a massive thing people strive to achieve in the UK is to own their own place and to have their own autonomy of like this.
Yeah.
You got to pay. You got your council tax and that's something you just have to always pay. But when you own your home, especially if you haven't got a mortgage, that's kind of a big chunk of your lifestyle that's just sorted, isn't it? Like,
I know a lot of top sort of economists and businessmen in the UK now are actually starting to advise younger people not to try and buy a property. I know that Rory Sutherland. Have you ever watched any podcasts with Rory Sutherland? He's known as like the marketing guy, but do you know what? You might find this like a funny thing to say. He kind of reminded of like a bit male version of your mum. Like he's got that like he sort of like comes across the way that the mum comes across almost like a very like hobbitish, not she's like a short, but it's just everything about her personality.
Great compliment. Reminds me of a hobbit.
What? Yeah, no, it's true. Drew's a bit hobbitish as well, but not so much. Drew's grown out of the hobbitness a bit. But
of a hobbit and Radagast the Brown if he was a woman as well.
You know what I mean, don't you? And I don't mean it at all as a slight. I mean it like, she's just like very almost like happy and bubbly, and you can just imagine her running around the Shire having a tea with cream with everyone and knowing everyone's business and talking, having little disputes with gardeners, but then she's friends with everyone. Like, ah! Anyway, Rory Sutherland, he talks a million miles an hour, and he's always got a smile on his face, and he looks like he should be living in a hobbit hole, but he's a genius sort of businessman, right? And I listened to him talk about it on the podcast, and I thought it was very, very good points actually. And the points he made is that almost like the de facto thought process for every young person in the home every young person in the UK is like, right, well, at some point, I need to get on the housing ladder. So at some point, I need to start saving up so I can get a deposit, and then I need to buy a house, and then have a mortgage, and then I need to pay off my mortgage, even if it takes me like decades and decades, and then eventually I will own the house, and then like basically that's like one of your biggest goals in life that you've accomplished, right? And then you'll own your property, and then you get all this freedom. You can sell it and get maybe better property, or you can sell it and just have loads of money, or you can just own it, and then you don't have to pay your mortgage, so you're really well off because you're not having to pay your mortgage repayments anymore. Regardless of what it is, you're pretty cushy, right? But he's saying that basically the housing market is so bad nowadays in the UK that his advice to a lot of young people is like, look, if you're just like a run-of-the-mill person in the UK, like, and what he means by that is obviously is just someone say on average income, that's not planning to inherit loads of money or properties or anything like that. Like, just don't bother. He literally said, just don't bother, because it's such a hardship nowadays to say you get a mortgage on a house, which say in like the 50s would have been like a house that say just like your average postman would have owned easily, right?
Like a nice 3-bedroom.
Yeah, like say just like yeah, he said like, and he literally used this analogy. He was like the home that would like, just like any old postman in the UK could have literally bought and owned in the 50s, just a modest postman's home. Nowadays would be considered like a ridiculously nice house that both, say you're in a couple, both people in that couple are probably going to have to graft their asses off while probably simultaneously raising children somehow and paying those kids.
Just to afford the mortgage
to afford the mortgage payment, and then hope that they keep up their incomes enough that they can consistently pay those mortgage repayments off until they eventually one day then own what is essentially a mediocre property. Essentially, right? And he was saying like, when you actually, if you break it down into a graph of say like the average mortgage payers, like person that owns a house but's paying off mortgages, their outgoings, a month, like such a massive part of that graph is their mortgage repayments. When you see everything else in there, like by comparison, you've got like car, food bill, whatever it is, small about for your phone or whatever. Like it's just, he said it's just not worth it. He said you'd be way better off just rent like a fairly decent property. Just basically it's just like it's not worth stressing about it. He said, like and I know it's funny, isn't it? Because like obviously Elon Musk's one of the most richest men in the world. But I think I'm right in saying that he doesn't actually own any properties. I think he just rents like a nice flat or something, like a nice apartment. Just quite funny, isn't it? You think a guy like him, like you think, yeah. But
fair enough.
The appeal for it for me before, like when I had my place, was that the mortgage payments were less than it would have costed me to rent a place like that.
Yeah.
But now it's not like that as well. So you know, like I'm like, oh well, if I was going to rent a place, and it was going to cost me like £700 a month, like this place, my mortgage payment if I was only £150 a month, so that's saving me. But I don't think it's the same now. I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like, so that was that was the thing that I was thinking, oh, I'll be better off if I own it, like you know, because I'll be paying less. But I don't think it's the same now, you know. But then I think like renting, like even renting a half decent place, like that's gone crazy as well. Like, you know, it is like you know, £1,200 a month or something to like rent a little like flat or something. You know,
I think one thing that has been said lots before nowadays is this: if you've got people that you're close enough to, and people that you could you know that
sharing.
if you know that people, if you know a couple of people in your life that you could successfully coexist with, and what I mean by that is like, you know, like living with people is
coexist.
You know, you're like, but no, it's serious. I mean, like even with like a lot of family members, like you couldn't live with them because you'd end up clashing and fighting and
like
stuff.
In my house.
But like I think there's a lot to be said for like, you know, rather than say, you know, if like say you got an extended family, rather than like, you know, you living in say like a £330,000 house and them living in a £330,000 house, that both houses are say 3-bedroom houses, right? Why not get a 6-bedroom house, which is worth £550,000? It's not for all of you to live. As long as the people that you live with are sound and they don't rub you up the wrong way, and you're not going to be fighting with them and stuff. You've both got sort of enough space to coexist. Then you'll all have a much nicer garden, big driveway for your cars, nice big house. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot to be said for that, but it's just obviously the uniqueness of finding people that you could coexist with that, whether it's like, as I said, extended family or maybe even friends. Do you know what I mean? But it's quite, I think, you know, it's a unique thing. You know, you'd have to make sure that it was the right sort of environment. But I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have to go that way. Like, you know, if you want to afford to live somewhere, like, you know, but because we're looking at like potentially buying somewhere soon. And when I heard that like new rule, I'm like, oh my God. And you hear about how many like rich people are moving out of the UK at the moment because it is getting so stringent with taxes and stuff. And it's almost like if you can afford to, like there's better places to live with more freedom and stuff like that. But that's such a shame because I love England. I love our country. Yeah. I love the nature. I love England as it is. But all of these like
bakery section,
all of this other stuff and these new things that keep coming out and these new laws and that, it's like I don't know how I can live here, like, you know, like with all of that. It just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. Like,
when you especially start going down a rabbit hole late at night and you look on Rightmove and you see that you can get like a lush freaking house in like Greece for like $100,000.
Only downside is there's no condos. That's the only bad thing.
No, but you can go to Kakalakalises.
Or the Isle of Man,
that?
like you went to
Just
the Isle of
trying to
Man
make
recently.
that like a great name.
Banging.
Oh man, yeah.
Like, has that been like a bit untouched by some of this stuff, you know?
Well, yeah, they've got their own government, so the laws are way better. Taxes are way better. But what you've already seen start happening a lot in the last couple of years, and I think it's continuing to happen, which makes it much harder for say people like me and you, is that already a lot of wealthy British people, whether it's Scottish people, English people, have already bought properties in the Isle of Man and have already started, like, either whether it's a property that they live in sometimes or whether it's they've just moved there. You're already seeing them move there, and as a result, it's driving up the prices of the housing market in the Man, which makes it much harder for people like us because there's people with millions in the bank that are willing to spend money on all the nice houses. So if you only have a few grand in the bank, really, really hard now to get there, especially when you're considering the island, relatively speaking, is small. They have it's a gorgeous place to live, beautiful place. Like man. Like I think it's like one of the nice places in the British Isles. You know, one of the very nice places in the British Isles. I would love to live there, but you know, one of those things that's like a bit easier said than done. You know. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's it. I think like where would you like I think about placing that. I'm like, where would you actually just like go? They've got better rules and stuff. Like, Meg like speaks to this person with work quite a lot. Like, who's got like a kombucha business in Slovenia,
right?
And something. It's not something it would have even considered, but apparently that's lush over there, like nature-wise and stuff, and like seasonal and that, but just still like quite untouched, like not loads, like cheap, like not loads of people there and stuff. And I'm like, let's go on a holiday out there, see what it's like.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about something like that is you'd have to learn the language. That'd be well hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Apparently, like most people speak English there, which is cool.
That's all right then.
But
I feel like you'd have to send your kids to school there though, and that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're not going to be doing the lessons in English, are they? Do you know what I mean?
No. That's it. Yeah.
Then they'll be able to speak 2 languages, which I think is sick. I wish I could speak like another language like fluently.
Is there any language you know at least reasonably well?
A little bit. I know a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to have like proper conversations.
How
much? Not much. Like, if someone said some words to me, I could probably piece together what they meant. But
yeah.
¿Dónde está mi teléfono, por favor? Do you know what I said?
Puss in Boots over it.
Something about where is your telephone or something like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
¿Dónde está mi teléfono, por favor? Where's my telephone, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a couple of languages where I can like get by a little bit.
Well, my dad only revealed to me that they were going to move out to Lanzarote like the year I was born, but they didn't because...
You look like you should be from Lanzarote.
That's what I said. I said I wish I was in Lanzarote.
Especially with that Lanzarote football top on.
Yeah, repping
I feel like you've very much...
That's my hair.
You and Bullwinkle are quite similar in some ways, but I feel like Bullwinkle always randomly wears like foreign countries' football tops, and now you are as well.
Yeah, but I don't actually... I'm not a fan of
You've like fully taken his place.
That's what he said you got to do. He was like, I am going, but you must...
Yeah, you must take my place as a foreign
you know, I literally am just Bullwinkle. In a disguise. And I take the face off.
Yeah. Well,
the moustache will come next week.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, so can't wait
and
to
a little
grow.
moustache. Yeah.
Wait, that's not moustache, that's a beard.
Yeah, there's that man. When I used to like shows with them both and stuff like that, there's a lot of cultural references that I ain't got a freaking clue what they're on about. And they're like talking
it's
about
the generation.
Yeah,
we're Gen Z.
It's the generation. Yeah, I can't even like think of an example, but can you?
There was one earlier.
The hot and cold thing. We're both always cold.
Yeah, but that's not that's not a generation. That's just something you have in common.
Maybe, I suppose.
They're both always freaking cold. Like, what's that about?
Yeah.
It's like freaking like summer.
I'm wearing leggings.
And they'd be like in the studio both with like hoodies on, and I'm like sweating profusely in like like short shorts and a little t-shirt. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, but I do usually sit by the window, and it's like always the wind blowing the cold air, and I'm sometimes shivering.
I wish I could sit by the window. Maybe we'll change it so that when we do Pandora's, you can sit here and I'll sit by the window.
Or here by the fan.
Would you be happy with that?
Yeah.
I might actually do that.
To be fair, like with me and Bullwinkle, he was sat here with the fan on, so he has the fan blasting on him the whole time. I'm sat there with the window with the air blasting on me. Like corner. You're there with the control panel, but you're in the corner. You need the fan closer to you.
I'm like a little hot pocket.
Yeah. Bring the fan closer to you next time. Might have that help.
Bring me the fan.
Yeah. I think I should do that, shouldn't I? Right. Let me see if there's any like sort of quick facts or anything interesting I've seen last week that I could share with everyone before we call it a day. Because we've almost done 2 hours now. Can you believe that?
No.
Time flies, eh?
No.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I've put like tinfoil like everywhere in the studio. Like
we are in no risk of being abducted.
Yeah, look at that. That's the aliens now got tinfoil. I made a tinfoil pen.
With the tinfoil.
I made a whole tinfoil pen. Like
she loves it. Look at that.
That is cool.
She loves that.
I think it's sick.
Just don't put her in the microwave. Right. Germany has developed a gel that regrows your joint cartilage with no implants and surgery needed. Well done, Germany. Slowly,
well done.
Slowly making up for your various atrocities of the
20th generation. Did you just say well done?
Yeah. Well done, Germany.
Well done. Yeah.
Very good. Very good of you, Germans. Thank you so much
very good.
for regrowing my knee joints. Oh.
Like a starfish.
Yeah. Apparently it's
Why did you moan at the end?
Because it's the sort of thing a German would do.
Dieter, yeah.
Oh. Germany has produced an injectable collagen-based gel, originally known as chondro filler, designed to help repair damaged joint cartilage in a minimally invasive way.
You guys just sound like the 3 pigs from Shrek.
Developed in collaboration.
Yeah.
Developed in collaboration with Fraunhofer Institute. It's been available since 2013 and requires only a brief injection. While posts on social media have recently hyped it as a brand new breakthrough, the truth is more measured. The gel still involves minor procedures and carries the usual risks of allergic reactions. Current research continues to explore even more advanced biodegradable cartilage-regenerating gels that mimic natural joint environments and dissolve as new tissue forms. These innovations are still experimental, with promising results in early trials, but they're not yet ready for the everyday clinical use. Yeah.
Only in Germany, yeah.
Only in Germany can you have it.
You guys just reminded me of the three pigs in Shrek.
I think I have seen Shrek, but it was just so long ago.
They just go like, yes, after everything they say.
Yeah.
Literally like that.
This is quite cool. I know that you and Meg would find this interesting, Drew. A pregnant mother's diet influences future child taste preferences. Recent study finds. A recent scientific review concludes that a pregnant mother, what a mother pregnant eats already has lasting effects on the yet unborn child's taste preferences. In the researchers' words, converging evidence across various species supports the functionality of fetal chemoreceptive systems by the end of gestation, enabling the detection of an extensive array of chemotherapy hues derived from the maternal diet and transmitted to the amniotic fluid. The fetus effectively encodes these flavors in their biome, resulting in their enhanced acceptance after birth. This begs the questions of how acceptable it should be for pregnant women to eat junk food, as this will predispose the child to like these foods and probably not like the whole foods. Currently, the social norm is that smoking and drinking pregnancy makes you a bad mother, yet gaining lots of weight, far more than necessary for a healthy pregnancy, and eating unhealthy foods are socially very acceptable, sometimes even encouraged. Will this change? But not anymore. Go on a diet, fatty! No,
I just think that you should let pregnant women eat what they want to eat if they're carrying like a human inside of them.
Or even if it damages the child.
Not if it damages the child, but I don't think having like a Big Mac. I don't think having a Big Mac here and there is going to hurt the child.
Yeah, but what's your idea?
Get hooked on Big
Macs
when you're older.
It depends what your idea of here and there is.
Like maybe like
once
two a month. 2 a month is fine.
Once a month.
Once a month is like
shake. Once a month.
1.5
a month.
1.5. I'll go for 1.5.
So what would you do with the other half? Just give it to your mate.
Eat it in secret. You never know.
Well, it still counts, son. What, have you hung up on me or something? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? She just hung up on me in person. She's like, I've had enough of this conversation. Cool. You're an interesting person, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's why Ruben loves Greek yogurt. Because Meg had a lot of Greek yogurt when she was pregnant, and he it's the only thing that he's literally like.
Does he like to smash plates? Isn't it? Didn't we establish that in Greece they smash plates?
When did we establish that?
In good times.
Did we?
Yeah, we made that when you made Logan Paul joke.
Oh, when I said about the Japanese yes. Oh yeah, that rings a bell. I can't remember exactly what we said.
We were talking about where they smash plates, and wasn't it like Greece or something like that?
I can't remember exactly
what
we said.
Greek yogurt.
It's ringing a bell.
Maybe he likes smashing plates.
Well, if he starts, you know.
Do you reckon they get stuff like that from their parents? Like, if my mum did dance when she was little and she liked it, do you reckon that's why I like dance?
Yeah, whether it's just food or whether it's
actually. Yeah. And my dad liked football, and now my brothers both like football.
Well, obviously, you're obviously going to be, to a certain extent, like your parents and have like certain things from both of them. So I think it's natural that you're going to like certain things that your mum likes, certain things like your dad like. But we were talking, I remember on a pod a couple of years ago, I read out a similar study to this, or a similar meta-analysis, and it was going on about how there's all this evidence nowadays that couples that work out around the time of conception, it could just be the mum, could just be the dad, but obviously even more so in the mum and the dad. If you're a couple that are working out a lot around the time of conception, aka a time around the time of jiggy jig, where you make the baby, then the baby will be born and grow up more athletic and stronger and fast and fitter naturally than couples that don't.
Well, that's why I don't like exercise then.
Was it your parents' fault?
Yeah, my parents don't. They sit on the sofa.
There you go.
And that's why I like sitting on the sofa. I'm joking. They do that. They do their part, but not exercise.
So if you want your child basically to be like a super athlete.
So if I want John Cena baby,
you need to start working out.
I don't just need to have John Cena. I can just.
You need to
do workout.
You need to get your partner to start working out all the time.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
To the John Cena theme. Going back to what I was saying, though, this little meta-analysis, it says, fortunately, there are many evidence-based ways to make your children healthy, but I'm going to have to look into them, basically. I'm just going to leave you on a cliffhanger there. There are there's like, proven methods that you can help, to get your child eating healthy, but you just need to look into it. I thought this was an interesting fact. And I'm not surprised because you hear a lot about people with daddy issues and stuff like that, and about how fatherless homes, children are like way more likely to get involved in crime and misbehave and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I thought this was an interesting little one. Kids who are securely attached to their dads are two times less likely to face depression as teens. Not because fathers love more than their mothers, of course, but because their love works differently. Here's the one thing that dads give their kids that no one else can. Modern parenting often tells mums and dads to love the same way, but children's brains are wired for two different types of care. One anchors them in safety, i.e. the mother. The other stretches them toward strength, i.e. the father. Without both, kids grow up missing half of their foundation. Brain scans reveal the split. When babies cry, mum's limbic system, their comfort center, fires up naturally to soothe the child. Dad hears the same cry, and his neocortex, which is the problem-solving area of the brain, activates to try and teach the child. Your child's brain is wired to need both responses. That's the one thing dads are incredible at. Teaching kids they're capable of more than they think. While a mother's actions will tell the child, "You're safe with me," whereas a father's actions will tell the child, "You're stronger than..." Yeah, you can do it, essentially. You're stronger than this, you're stronger than you know. Both messages wire the brain for resilience. And babies know this instinctively. They collapse their mothers into their arms when the world feels too big, and they look at their father when it feels like an adventure. Evolution built two systems in a child's brain, one for comfort, one for courage.
That makes sense, to be fair. Like, when I think about when I'm scared... I automatically want mum. I'm thinking, but if I'm thinking of something that I want to do, but I just need the little bit of like push to know that I can do it, I look for my dad. So that makes like a lot of sense, actually.
I can already see that like in my daughter as well.
Yeah.
If she's ever like falls over and really hurts herself, she but then it's like if she like wants to like play or do something like fun or a bit like adventurous, it's like dad.
Yeah.
Dad, I want dad.
I still do that. Yeah. Like I suppose that's the teenage part of it when it says like it's plays out in their teenage years, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's playing out in my teenage years.
Yeah, an Oxford an Oxford anthropologist called Anna Mashin studied dads through like lots of different studies and examples of families for well over a decade. And she concluded that fathers are basically more like specialists, and that they teach children to face uncertainty, take risks, and bounce back from failure in a positive way. Yeah. That's cool. In a study of 3,988 teens, secure father attachment cut depression risk in half. Dad's belief becomes their armor against despair.
Aww,
for daughter,
cute.
And apparently it's it literally lasts like all lifetime. Girls with secure dads are 54% more likely to graduate college. Every I believe in you becomes an inner voice that carries her through closed doors and hard days.
I'm gonna do a granny.
It's basically like resilience training. Yeah. I'm not
going I'm still uni, but I'm gonna graduate.
And I say apparently one of the other reasons why this happens is literally from play. And goes on to say that resilience training doesn't come from lectures, it comes from play. Wrestling, chasing your kid around, tickling them, all of this builds resilience in a child. The nervous system will literally rehearse all of this, and it basically tells the child that your heart can pound, your breath can race, and that everything is fine. You can be still calm through all that. So that rough and tumble play that dads get involved with kids. It's like resilience boot camp for kids.
Oh, that's cute.
That's so cool.
That's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we leave it on that one?
Yeah, that's happy note.
Well, guys, you've been listening to another Pandora's Box. Thanks for joining us this week. First pod without young Bullwinkle. Let's hope he hasn't been eaten by like
Everyone do a sad face.
giant
Everyone look sad.
Let's hope he hasn't been eaten by like a monitor lizard or anything like that.
He'll be fine.
I was taking quite a lot of pleasure in reading out to him like all of the horrible creatures that like live in Thailand, like near where he's staying. There was quite a few of them as well. I was like, whoa, man, check this one out. And he was like, oh, man.
Great.
But yeah, so Bullwinkle is on his adventures, but he's with us in spirit. Thanks for joining us again, guys. If you don't already, please go follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. Just type in Pandora's Box Podcast. And yeah, we'll see you next time. We're going to release tracks on YouTube soon. We've once made a video for it. But me and Drew recorded this song last week. It's called This Ain't Bar, Goodbye, but it also ain't See You Later. I wrote it as like a little...
it's very good.
Farewell. Cheers.
You're welcome.
I wrote it as like a little farewell song to Bullwinkle. And yeah, on Friday, we finished recording it, don't we, man? Drew on bass, me guitar and vocals, and Drew doing... Yeah, me and Drew both do some lead. Drew does bass, I do vocals. Boom. Enjoy. Later.